getting that empty.
Only 2 people went to PAX.
At school.
So do you guys think I'm just white like online? Am I more white or less white?
More white. You're more white. More white.
I think it's sure. What do you guys want to do? What are like questions and stuff? Not fire back questions at you? Or you ask me questions and answers?
Microphone.
Or we could just stare at you.
It's like intimidating. So, how are we going to do this? I have like no idea how we should start this. So, introduce yourself. Yes. So, does anyone know where I'm from?
Scotland.
Anyone know where in Scotland I'm from?
England, right?
She's so bad. No, so I'm from Stirling. It's a little town in Scotland. Has anyone ever been to Scotland? You have. Scotland. Whereabouts in Scotland? Glasgow? Did you walk alone at night? No. Where'd you go? Rena? Yeah. What for?
What's that?
What for?
My family's proud.
Oh, who else was it? Someone? Was one more from Scotland? Or went to Scotland at least? Up and back. What about
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh? What for?
On holiday.
On holiday? What did you think of it?
Right?
What did you think of it?
It was great.
It's great. It's kind of like Vancouver. That's one thing I don't miss is a lot of rain, and I've been greeted with it here as well. So, you guys ask me questions then. What do you want to ask me? Someone start.
Do you like haggis?
Do I like haggis? Actually, haggis isn't that bad. Do you know what haggis is made of?
Livers?
Yes.
Livers?
Yeah, it's stomach, intestines, blood, livers. Actually, not that bad. If you don't know what haggis is, it's a national dish in Scotland. And it's pretty good. Anyone else got any questions?
How do you think the new meta affected EG for this split?
For the first split or this split?
Some split.
I would say the good thing about this 3.10 patch was that it slowed down the early aggression because of the tower pushing. You know how they changed it to 4.5 minutes where towers got weaker at that point? It slowed down that early aggression that people had, and that helped us a lot because we weren't the best at early aggression. We got better as the game, as the season went on, we got better at it. But early on, we weren't that strong at it.
But you know how there's more assassinations now instead of overclocking? How does that affect progress now? Because he usually making a switch leaking.
Well, that was back in season 2. That's a long time ago. So his playstyle's changed a lot since then. He played a lot of Zed. He picked up Fizz recently as well. What other champions? Anyone know what else Frog plays?
Brackets, I think.
No, not Braggers.
He plays a lot of Mox.
And Ari as well. Ari's a assassin. So he changed up. He's not playing the kind of passive Lux or Anivia or things like that. He's actually changed his playstyle through the entire first split and into the second split. Anyone else?
Can you explain what happened in that Blitzcrank game where everyone against Mox?
So basically, we went into that game thinking, I actually had a picture that I don't have with me, but we had a picture of we had a whiteboard, and we wrote on this whiteboard saying our plan for that game. And they'd like to put, it was useless jungle, we just picked a random jungle, it was useless. And then, it was actually we wanted Pete to play Urgot, and we wanted Froggen to play Blitzcrank, Creeper to play Anivia, and Wicked, I don't even know, what did Wicked play in that game?
That's good trivia.
What
did Wicked play in
I'll
that
give you a
game?
skin code. Get it.
If anyone gets it, you get 1 skin code. Shannon?
Did he play Kennen?
Anivia.
I think he played Kennen actually.
Yeah, that's what I said, Kennen, yeah.
So who said that? You said it?
Yeah,
For sure?
Kennen,
No, it wasn't someone up there.
Kennen.
At the top. So we went into that game thinking like who cares if we win or lose? It doesn't really matter at this point. And because we played that day for 10 hours or something because of the tiebreaker situation, and we just thought it was that fun. And actually, Gambit was taking it really, really serious. And they like picked proper champions. They were like had their game faces on before the game, and we were just laughing. And we like completely stomped them. I think it was something like I don't even know what the score was, like 20 and something. I don't even know. But we stomped them super hard. It was a lot of fun. It was like one of the most fun games I've had the entire school.
Yeah. They were so
You up there?
Yeah. Your question.
What's your question?
So you have getting fit in Snoopeh, getting back on Peppo, getting fit in Froggen. I was wondering whether there's anything going on with Yellow Team Wicked anytime soon.
Like, I think the Wicked thing was like get Bricked with Wicked. Because like everyone thinks it's just like a wall. I think it was Joe Miller that came up with that. It's like a wall. And Pete, I don't even know. Pete has like nothing going for him. I don't know. He's like nice guy Pete. You guys think of your own meme. Or get nice with Pete? Yeah, that would work.
Do you guys call each other by your real names or like your zoner names? Because like,
I call Creepo Mitch, and I call Pete. That's easy enough. I call Froggen, and I call Wicked. Sometimes Mike. If I'm annoyed at him, I'll call him Mike. And then in general, I'll say Wicked.
What do they call you?
Wicked calls me Steven. Pete calls me Steven. And I think the rest of them call me Snoopeh.
How good of a color is Hot Shot GG?
oh,
We'll not talk about that.
Do you think that if you faced Lemon Dogs instead of Fnatic during that semifinal round, like I remember when you played Lemon Dogs the week before that, you guys actually won against them. Do you think you would have actually went to the finals?
It's hard to say really. If we like any team in Europe at that point was capable of beating any team in Europe. So if we couldn't beat Fnatic, then we probably couldn't beat Lemon Dogs at one time, to be honest. Although on the last game, on the final, the only reason Fnatic 3-1, did they 3-0 or 3-1? Lemon Dogs. 3-1. The only reason they really did that was because all of Lemon Dogs went out partying the night before. So no discredit to Fnatic, but they weren't really like Lemon Dogs wasn't in the raid game. So.
Do you gravitate towards the more tank jungles? Is this your playstyle? Is it something you picked up for your team?
It was my playstyle. It was like very much part of my playstyle game too. But then as it came into the first split of this season, I was forced almost to carry junglers. But we're now gravitating back to more tanky junglers again, and more tanky roles as a jungler. And it's not me just like making that movement alone. The whole media itself is shifting towards that. Anyone else?
What are the junglers that you would recommend to help
Carry a game.
Yeah.
Like I play, for example, Udyr and solo queue. I would not play it in team competitive games, but in solo queue I play Udyr. I think if you just like max Q and become like start Dorn's Blade, go 15-15 in offense and defense masteries, and just invade like constantly, always invade, and always look to reach where the enemy jungler is, and go aggressive on him. Like wait in a bush. If you think he's at race, why don't you just wait at the red, and he's going to double columns, you just like hammer on him then, and get chunked to 50%, and then you control the jungle and he's forced to base. You'll be a huge amount of pressure with Udyr if you use him right early. Anyone else?
So during level ones, it's really typical for teams to invade the other team's jungle, especially red. And sometimes teams will notice, like they'll know that they're in each other's jungles. Why do teams never, like when they know that they're trading jungles, why do they always opt to spread word coverage in the other jungle instead of collapse and try to kill if they have decidedly better level one?
One thing that you notice maybe in competitive play is what teams will do is they'll drop a ward on their red buff. Or they like see if they mirror the play. So the enemy team invades on your red, and then you invade on their red, and you double ward either side. What started happening in competitive play is your base is your base, and you'll then go back to your own red, and you'll sit. Can you imagine double columns? There's a tower right next to double columns. You know what that is? If you wait at that tower, and then you walk into your own red, which they're already at, you have no vision of it, but you just wait with 3 to 4 people at that tower, and then sneak in past double columns into red at about 151 or 152. As soon as they start the red, you collapse on top of them. That's things that are happening in competitive, which works really, really well. Going in when you have no vision, even if you have a decidedly stronger level 1, if you have no vision and you face check into 5 people, it's probably not going to end well for you. It doesn't matter how strong the level 1 is. Anyone else?
What are your thoughts on CLG TSM giving back?
I don't know, like, it's weird for me because TSM or CLG were trying really, really hard. Like, they were practicing a lot, and they had an analyst, they had Monte Cristo analyzing all their games, and they felt really confident coming into it, and it just didn't show, to be honest. I didn't see all the games, I was busy running around, but I feel like, I don't know if TSM was just stronger on the day. I don't know if it was like fan momentum or what that carried TSM through, but they just seemed to be stronger on the day. Or black?
I want to throw gamers and including all the regions and the
Yeah.
what do you think of Walmart is the most attractive pro player?
Wait, sex DJ.
How shall GG?
Where is Hotshot?
What?
Where is he? Where is Hotshot?
He had to fly back to LA because he only came here to get his visa fixed to stay in the States. So he's got his visa forms and stuff, and then just had to re-enter the States to activate his visa. So he left actually a day or 2 ago.
What do you think is the strongest jungler in Korean scene?
And the Korean scene,
Yeah.
I think Daddy is pretty good.
Jungler.
Huh?
Jungler?
Who's jungler?
You mean Danny?
Daddy, that's it. That's a name that escaped me. I actually didn't catch the OGN games. Who got the last spot?
It's tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, it's great.
Who's in the running for it? That's late tonight, right?
It's great, yeah.
Anyone else?
So, I'm like a host here there. Could you give me some suggestions? Like, who can help Bronze 5?
I like your bronze 5 buddies like high five. So what role do you play? Or what role do you like to play?
Oh, I probably jungler and top.
Jungle and top. So one thing I would say, do you have any like friends that play the game?
Oh, yeah.
And what do they play? Or what's your best friend? Like, what does he play?
What's that?
Is he bronze 5 as well? So what role do you play?
I'm a jungler.
Okay, so you can't play jungle anymore. So duo queue with him and play top lane, and then try and create like some synergy where you're like ganking the lane repeatedly or something like that.
I'm in Paxton.
So you should be giving him pointers.
I don't.
One thing I would say though is that if you're going to jungle at least, try and create opportunities. Like if you can get someone that's got strong CC in the lane, like say your top lane is playing like a Ribbon or something like that. If they're playing Ribbon, try and look to level 3 gank that. So it's about, after you get your blue buff, then your red buff, you get to top around 2 minute 45, 2 minute 40, and then you head up top and you create a gank. Tell him, way before you do it, tell him that's your plan and you want to do that, and he should try and create his lane in a way that you can do that. Maybe bait the guy in a little bit, so he gets like, the Ribbon gets really low for example, it might be like 40%, and then his opponent thinks he can kill him, and then you can like set up a gank where the guy's going to be baited in, and it's like 100% kill basically. Anyone else? You get what you have up the top.
Yeah, do you ever want to go back to engineering?
So everyone to go back to engineering?
Yeah.
I didn't do engineering. I did computing science and design.
Do you ever want to go back to that?
I miss computing science a little bit. I like coding, and I love like the trial and error and like making projects and stuff like that. But I don't miss like traveling the world. And, like I wouldn't trade what I'm doing for world basically. Having like an awesome life right now. And everything's great. What do you study? Or what did you study? Engineering. Anyone else?
Do you guys hang out with the other pro players after the games?
Huh?
Do you hang out with the other pro players after the games?
Do you see a picture of me in hotshot? We hang out, yeah. No, you should put that one.
Do you think comp sci belongs in science?
Who?
Do you think comp sci belongs in science?
Pure science.
Oh, pure science. Pure science. Yeah, for sure. Why not?
Doesn't it seem like a science?
What year are you in?
Third.
Okay, so you just start to specialize now, right? Yeah, and you're third and fourth year, definitely. As you specialize, you get a lot more research. Huh? Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say third year, I think I did information systems, third year. And it became a lot more refined and a lot more like the science than the first 2 years of computer science.
How do you think Cloud9 is going to do at Worlds?
That's a question I got asked every single day at PAX pretty much by the people today. And like I have no idea. Like, we have no international comparison. We never played at anything but Worlds. So it's really hard. Like the EU scene, how's Lemondogs going to do? Or how's Fnatic going to do? No one really knows until they actually come at Worlds. And Cloud9 did impress me. Like I thought in the big stage they might have like faltered a little bit. I thought like TSM might do a game off them at least. But no, they 3-0'd pretty comfortably and it does put a lot of promise on them for Worlds. The only thing I'm worried about is their early game. But if you see like all of Cloud9's games, they have a shaky early game pretty much. If they do that against the Korean team, the Korean team will be relentless. The Korean team will just like force their advantage home. Whereas Cloud9 might not get a chance to come back like they did in all these games in the LCS. Anyone else?
Did you ever throw a game?
Did I ever throw a game? Is that a silly question? I've played for what, 3 years now, so I've definitely thrown at least one game. Sparm smites and jelly man. As a jungler, that's like your biggest fear.
Yeah.
It's just not fair. Anyone else?
After you guys left CLGU, I read that you guys were between EG and Curse for a new team. How did you decide between these two? Like, what were the factors?
So, when you're deciding between a new team,
It's just machines.
So when you're deciding between joining a new team, there's a lot of like money. Obviously, is a big factor in it. Which team's offering more money? But then there's also things like which team wants you to stream for 80 hours, which team wants you to stream for 40 hours a month. That comes into it. There's also things like revenue, like merchandising. If you're selling merchandising, how much of a cut you get. There's things like the team itself, the organization. Like for example, Curse was relatively new to Esports. Evil Geniuses have been in Esports for almost a decade now, so they have a lot more experience. Although Curse does other pros, like Curse is a huge marketing team, so they can put you out on a bigger platform. Like they have the Curse gaming websites all over different platforms. It's a lot to weigh up, and it took me almost 3.5 months to make that decision, and like countless face-to-face and Skype meetings to make it. It's a lot of thought behind it. Yeah. Anyone else? What am I going to do after League? Hopefully I can play for at least 1 more year. That's like my thing. I want to play at least 1 more year. If I can, 2 years. And after that I want to be involved in League in some aspect. Which aspect that is, I don't know. Whether I want to work for Riot, whether I want to be like a figurehead of Esports and like promoting it to the real world. Or the real world, it is the real world. Promoting it to like mainstream sponsors and things like that. Or like a wider audience. Or whether I want to run tournaments, run my own team. There's like so many options. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. Anyone else?
Do you consider your stair to be your ultimate ability in real life?
No. I actually, one thing, like the stair was a part of season 2, right? And then I got eye surgery on this like laser eye surgery on December or something, just around Christmas time. And I had an event at the end of January I had to go to, and every single crowd was like, "Can you do the stair? Can you do the stair?" And I could barely keep my eyes open for like 10 seconds at that point. And it was like, and I think it was an MLG I went to as well, where it's like the constant flashing lights. It was like MLGs, if you ever been to one, it's a really dark like warehouse type thing. and it was like hundreds of flashing lights, and my eyes were killing me at the end of that. So I tried to leave this stare back in season 2. Anyone else? Oh, this one.
How are you enjoying your vacation so far?
Oh, I'm loving it actually. I don't often, like when you were part of the season, I don't really get to vacations, like constantly 12, 14 hours a day playing games. Then on the weekends playing LCS, and it's really, really nice just to get a break. And have, like basically I woke up at like 10 o'clock this morning and like thought I might go for breakfast. You know, like that's, having that kind of luxury alone is like good, because I never get that luxury the last 3 months. I went to Stanley Park. I was thinking of doing the grind, the grouse grind, but the weather was like not exactly permitted. And I'm thinking I probably, after Vancouver, I leave on Saturday. I think I might go to, I'm not even decided yet, I've not booked anything. Might go to Toronto. Then I will be going to Chicago, San Francisco, San Jose, LA, yeah. So, got a lot of touring around and it's all the lead up to Worlds. Like, I'm only here really in the States for a month because of Worlds. So I'm just trying to do as much as I can before Worlds starts, because I'll be involved in the Worlds show in some capacity. So. Anyone else?
What do you think of Sky? Sky.
It was actually an interesting experience. Like when I met Sky, he was like, "You're my bro, right? You're my bro." And I'm like, "Yes, Sky. Yes, Sky." Did anyone see his comedy sketch at PAX? No, he had like a comedy sketch at PAX, which actually meant to be pretty good. So you might see more of him in the future, working at like Riot events and stuff.
He just got sponsored by Alienware.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. Anyone else? Picture of it. Favorite play I ever made?
Doesn't have to be the best.
I would say it's probably season 2, last year Worlds, against WE, and it was Clear Love and Messiah. I was playing Cho'Gath.
Oh yeah.
And I think Clear Love was playing Nocturne and Messiah was playing Rise. And I blind ruptured over the wall, like flash blind, didn't know where he was, flash blind in it, and managed to auto attack, and my passive gave me enough lifesteal to like not die. And like doing that in front of, I think it was like almost 1 million people like worldwide. That was pretty awesome. Anyone else? You might want either.
Carmen said earlier you're playing Hearthstone. What do you think about that game?
What did I think of Hearthstone? Actually, I got offered to play that like a month ago or something, or not, maybe like 2 weeks ago it was. But I didn't want to pick it up because like obviously the LCS season stuff's going on, and like if I pick up a new game, I just get completely addicted to it. So I refuse to pick any, like StarCraft 2. I love StarCraft 2, but I refuse to play it because I would get addicted to it and start playing it like a lot. But I played Hearthstone. I probably played, I don't know, a couple. Like I got it, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday I think I got it, and I played it for like 10 hours already. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a good game. It's like I'll probably wear off like after a while, but like right now I'm like addicted to it for a couple of days. Also, by the way, I want to say rogues are OP.
Yeah.
I can't be rogues. I actually struggle against the bot. Like I failed against the AI 4 times. You're at the very top. Yep.
Do you ever think the league was going to get this big when you started?
I wouldn't say I thought it was going to get this big, but when I went to a Gamescom as a spectator, and I was potentially subbing for SK at that point, and I was completely mind blown by thousands of people watching a stage and like watching video games. And at that point, that's when I made like a conscious decision, like 2.5 years ago pretty much, that I wanted to be a part of this. And watching it gradually grow and grow from event to event has been fantastic. Like I went to Taiwan last year, and there was 70,000 people that showed up. 50,000 inside the venue in a shopping mall, and 20,000 people queued up outside to get in. And back a year ago, 5% of Taiwan's population played League of Legends. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyone else? You.
Do you think that the European and Indian gentlemen reached the Korean gentlemen and mechanics around war and stuff like that?
That goes back to my question, or my statement earlier about how's Cloud9 going to do at Worlds. We have no real comparison to see how European junglers or how any junglers are going to do compared to Koreans. Like, sure, there's a lot of highlight reels with Insect making sick plays on Lee Sin, but we don't really have like an actual comparison game to game to see how they'll do. We'll find out at Worlds.
Because let's say the Korean jungler, it's the near jungler, more like Shanna, like Ling, and it's like most of the top lane, the Cloud,
What about Crumbs? Crumbs as a jungle?
I think like Crumbs is like Cynic a little bit. It's like 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
Less consistent basically overall. Anyone else? How about GG? I love GG. Like, he's awesome, but as a player, like, I question him. He's like new to the jungle role and stuff like that as well, so I wouldn't say he's anywhere near like all the other top junglers. Anyone else?
A lot of people say that Froggen is the best mid in EU. Do you agree with that, and why or why not?
I would have said a year ago, for example, Froggen was by and far the best mid in Europe, maybe even the world at that point. But this year he has some strong aspects, like where he's really, really good. Like his mechanics are spot on pretty much. But other mid laners like roam a lot more. Like Speaky, for example, he'll roam a lot more, or Nuke Duck will roam a lot more. So he's weaker in some aspects now than other mids are, but he's still like one of the top for sure. Anyone else?
So you play a whole lot of league. How much rage do you have?
How much what?
Playing games. Rage.
How much do I rage?
Yeah.
I never rage.
Never?
I'm not kidding you. It's just like I don't care. And like with solo queue or something, I literally just don't care if some guy's feeding or some guy's like shouting at me or whatever. I just don't care. I know like I'll go into the next game and I'll be fine. Maybe that's somewhat to do with like I have a job in league, so like I don't really care what these guys say. Like I'm playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
While you were learning?
Huh?
While you were learning, while leveling up and learning the game, even then you didn't rage?
No, not really, because I was playing with friends, and
okay.
like when I was leveling up, so it was just a lot of fun to play. I didn't really think about how much I sucked back then. So, anyone else? You, the orange?
Which unpopular champion do you think is secret on?
Jungle Malzahar.
Yeah.
It'll make a comeback.
80 or 80?
80 or 80? Oh, actually, I've never tried 80. I keep getting told by Freak to try 80. Anyone else?
When you originally had 30, how long did it take you to get to near top of the ladder or anything like that?
Not very long actually. Once I started, like, because I'm a very competitive person, so once I started getting, like, I would have a group of friends that were above me to start with. They'd be like 1,500 and I was 1,300. Back when ELO was numbers instead of what it is now. And I would play with 1,500s, then I'd get to their level and I'd be like, okay, you guys can suck now. And I'd get like new friends like at 1,700 and I'd constantly make that climb up. And like gradually I just got better and better. And it didn't take too long at all until I was up to like 2,200. Anyone else? Anyone not? Right. Behind you?
Oh, you had some trouble earlier in the split, and you guys brought in Shacker. And then you guys, as you came back, I think it was Diamond Pump or something, you said you're the new best jungler in the world. And I mean, I've been watching you guys for like a year now, but what happened? All of a sudden you just came back and the UG was starting winning games again.
It was a huge thing. Like when you play on a weekly basis, 14 hours a day, and you're like constantly thinking about your team, you're constantly thinking about the fans, you basically forget about other things. And what I forgot was like my individual play. I didn't play a lot of solo queue. I was playing a lot of team practice and like doing a lot of analysis on other teams and things like that. And I kind of lost sight of my own individual play. And what bringing Shacker in allowed me to do, it didn't allow the team to do better. It allowed me to take a step back and focus on my own play. For 2 weeks, I played something like 16 hours a day of solo queue, and I was streaming. And I basically got way, like noticeably better. Not just to myself, but like to my entire team, to everyone. Like Diamond was saying, I came back like very, very strong after those 2 weeks. And we won something like 5-6 games in a row off the back of that. And I had really good performances in that. So yeah, I would definitely say it was the opportunity that Shacker like stepping in just so I could step back was a big factor in how well we did in the end, towards the end of the season. Anyone else? You there?
This is kind of ripping off your questions, but if there was aliens attacking the Earth and you had to pick 5 players to make the best league team to defend.
I think I answered that in his interview with me.
No. There's my twist though.
Okay.
So your players have to not be playing their roles professionally. Like you can pick a special, but you can't
5 mid laners or something. We'll do everything, you know.
We're ready, bro.
I would say, I guess, Insect, because he's already proved he can change roles. High, because he's already proved he can change roles. Shy. And then, I don't know like the other two. Actually, not Mad Life. Do you remember Mistake?
Yeah.
TPA. He was actually at 2400, like Yellow back in season 2, AD carry, plus like maining support at the time. So yeah, I'd say him, he's pretty versatile and like proved himself on a world stage. And the last plot, I don't even know, like just throw Hotshot in there, I guess. Anyone else?
Which team you miss not seeing in the finals? Other than your team.
What other team did I miss? Pro Frost is not going to make it for sure now, right?
Yep.
So I would say like a toss-up between Frost and TPA. It's actually interesting that only one of the top 4 teams from last year are actually even at Worlds. Like forget about being in the top 4, they're not even at group stages, which is pretty interesting to see how the season changes from like season to season, and how the old guys are like no longer welcome. Anyone else?
Why do you think SK did so bad? Not so bad, but they did worse than done before in the split.
I'm going to save myself from like tweets or something. I say something rude. Yeah. So I would say a lot of it came down to just with how competitive the scene in Europe was at that point in time. Like it came to crunch point and SK could have qualified, or like we could have been out. We were second at one point. We could have been out of the league by the end of the like all the tiebreakers and stuff. We could have been completely out. And I would say they were just the worst out of some very good teams in Europe. I wouldn't say they're a bad team. It was just a very hard place to be at that point in time.
In terms of the development of esports, what is one thing you'd like to see happen that would sort of push it forward in your eyes?
One thing that we need for esports, and one thing we lacked a lot this year, was the amateur scene. There was no fallback. As a professional player, if I fall out of the LCS, there's nothing for me to do. There literally isn't. I have to wait for my next shot at getting back in. If it's like in the middle of the first split, I could wait three months. If it's in the second split, like right now, if I didn't make it, I would have to wait 5 months before getting a chance to get back in the LCS. And that's a ridiculous amount of downtime if we want to professionalize esports. So that's one thing that Riot's looking to do next year is level up the amateur scene and get a lot more prize money and like infrastructure for the amateur scene. So there is a path to get to the pro scene and also a path for the pros to like when they drop down to actually do something.
We'll do signing and pictures, how about that?
Yes.